Hi guys, so this is an attempt or attempt one to talk about this very interesting project I worked on. I call it my holy grail of MLOps or ML engineering. This project is a way of showing how you can take your local or your ideas and turn it into something that is fully autonomous, something that runs without zero human intervention, something that runs on 0 naira. It's very lean, and it just gives a very strong proof of concept of what is possible, right? So a backstory, sometime in 2010, a man went into one of the retail supermarkets, stormed the place, and complained about his teenagers that are getting pregnancy coupons, right? How is this teenage daughter pregnant? Well, in a couple of weeks, he will come back to apologize that indeed his daughter was pregnant and the supermarket store was able to accurately predict that. And then it brings us to this statistical concept or this analytical concept called named entity recognition. It simply means when you walk into a supermarket or when you carry out an activity, if the activity is very similar to what a defined cluster would do, it is very likely that you belong to that cluster. So if you take this example, you're going to an aisle in a supermarket store and you are always buying wipes, or you're always buying lotion, or you're always buying diapers, or you're always buying the same things that pregnant women would typically buy. Well, it makes sense for us to put you within that cluster. If you're always going to the bar, you're always buying wine, you're always buying energy drinks, you're always buying certain things a type of man would buy, then it makes sense for us to put you in that cluster. Well, so we're taking this idea and wherever you see this item, map it to groceries. Wherever you see this item, map it to um, some other category, right? We're going to pass in our categories or pass in the items that are linked to those categories. We're going to run a keyword-based search that would then vectorize those keywords and then do some familiarity assignment based on the categories and then keywords. When we're done with that, we don't expect a 100% coverage. We expect maybe a 90, a 70% coverage, right? Just with rule-based logic. The remaining coverage, the remaining gaps, we're going to pass it to ML. We're going to pass in a two-tier ML approach. We're going to do a random forest classification that you can call that supervised learning, and a DBSCAN, which is unsupervised, right? We're going to say random forest you're finding any patterns in that data in the transaction records. And then after you've done that, if there's still any other coverage, if there's still any other unclassification going on, pass it to a DBSCAN that finds the hidden clusters in it. Now, by the time we're done with that, we're going to pass in all our model workflow, metrics, evaluation, timestamps, and the final categories that is sort of within our records. We're going to pass it and store all of those artifacts in MLflow. Now we're going to take MLflow. You're going to take ML logic and techniques. You're going to take the synthetic data and generate something that we can pass to our non-technical audience. Because usually in cases like this, you're the developer, you're the one creating things, you're the one writing this logic, but you want to be able to communicate that to a stakeholder, right? It sort of draw points to business outcomes, right? So we're going to be generating our Markdown document, and our Markdown document is created in R. R works fantastically for stuff like this: EDAs, presentations, web apps, markdowns, notebooks, stuff like that. It's fantastic in my experience, right? So we'll be using both Python for development and R for development, but towards the end to create presentations, right? We're going to pass our outfields using the reticulate library in R to R, and then generate an EDA with like a table of contents, which we'll then use to render a web page, right? Now you take synthetic data, ML logic or techniques with our rule based. and then you take MLflow that sort of monitors and archives or keeps artifacts for all our workflows, and then you take your R um, markdown that you're going to use to render a web page. And then you take all of this together. It works fine on your local environment, it works fine on your laptop, right? But you want to be able to recreate something like that anyone can use in the world, right? Or where you can show the true efficacy of your proof of concepts, right? And they can take your financial circumstance or your financial POC and then maybe translate it into something else for, just making it completely open source, right? How do you do that? How do you show that efficacy? You have to introduce some CIC, right? So in this case, you're passing it to GitHub Actions. You're going to create a couple of YAML files. I created two. Want to deploy, I want to render, first to render, then deploy to GitHub pages, right? And then it's going to show operational metrics like how long it took to run, how is the model performing, how many categories defined, was the breakdown, the last runtime, basic fine details like that, right? So you pass that to GitHub Actions, right? It was really challenging doing this part because there was a lot of errors, particularly with R. Even if you've ever worked with R, you know there are a ton of packages, there are a ton of things to maintain and sort of manage. Because when you're doing this locally, you get some of these packages just coming nicely into your true installations, right? But when you're doing this in a sort of containerized environment, you sort of have to manage for every bit, right? Another thing that sort of it was a interesting project for me that I think I'll always talk about, but I also wanted to just share my workflow with you guys in case you want to reproduce it. I have this blog where I write about it and in and then I have like the GitHub repository where you could just go pick up the code and recreate for yourself, right? So that's it's talking about this project in under 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like to ask questions about it and just play around this old WhatsApp, you can reach out to me in the comments. And I think my message will always be, go create something cool and subscribe.